We need to build a wall, and it has to be built quickly.
Good morning. It is 9:07 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? My name's Chris And. Show's brought to you by our friends at Better Water LLC. People always say, why would you need a water filter? They say, why would I need a water filtration for the home? Well, you would do it not just for your family, but also for the frogs.
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay.
BetterWater.com. It's a reason. You can listen to us anywhere. iHeartRadio, tune in the FM dial. You can watch the show as well. Supertalk TV is up and running. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Rumble. YouTube and Rumble are the big ones. Hit like, hit subscribe. It's free to do. Share the show with your friends. If you're on a digital platform, there's a share button. Usually looks like a little arrow. And just click that and send it off. And we appreciate you doing that. We appreciate you helping us grow the digital footprint of the radio station. We're rolling into the Christmas season. It's feeling pretty good, man. It's getting cozy. I wish the rain today was snow. I know I'm in the minority, but I do.
I'm with ya.
Philly Joan, stepping in. Let's go. Joan, are you allowed to sled post-surgery?
Well, if nobody sees me.
There we go.
Yeah.
I like it. I like you're only breaking the rules of the doctors on the hill.
That's right.
All right. Yeah, I do. I wish it was snow. It's a bit of a letdown. And I'll tell you what, I hate 24. I hate driving on 24 so much. I leave Murfreesboro, and it's going to take you an hour. And I'm like, oh, thank you, Mr. GPS. Appreciate that. And then the rain starts falling. And as soon as the raindrops start hitting my windshield, it's like, bam, here's another 35 minutes for your commute.
Just add some water.
Like, how does that happen?
Yeah.
How does that, does anybody know? Nobody knows. We got a lot to get to today, and we're very excited to have you joining us, and we're going to be talking about everything, man. We'll talk about Ilhan Omar. She has been caught red-handed, lying about her son being pulled over by ICE. It's a wild story. We'll dive into that. We'll also talk about what's going on with Venezuela. What is the latest in Venezuela? And we got some interesting factoids for you on the Venezuela front. We'll talk about the latest in Brown University. It's beginning to feel a lot like a cover-up. I don't know if you feel like that. I'm starting to feel like that. And there are some explosive revelations when it comes to Brown University and some even crazier rumors bubbling beneath the surface that aren't going away. And you know what they say about a rumor? If it sticks around, it might be true. We'll talk about all that and more. We're going to begin today with the presidential address last night. A little bit of a troll job. How do you get all the major networks to cover this major presidential address? Well, you float a rumor that you're going to be going to war with Venezuela. You float a rumor that you might be declaring war. I don't know who decided to float the rumor, but that was the rumor that was persistent. Turns out it wasn't a declaration of war. It was a recap. And we kind of talked about that on the show yesterday. That's what I had heard it was going to be, his accomplishments from the first year in office and what he plans to do in the next year. Good move, floating the rumor. Got a lot more eyeballs on the address. Very quick address. 18 minutes in length, I believe, at that last check. Very fast. If you weren't paying attention, it came off a little angry. And I think that was because he was essentially a podcast on 2 times speed. He knew he was up against it. He had a deadline to get to because of the networks. He only had 30 minutes. He did 18. So he was going very, very fast. And I don't want that to be misconstrued as an angry, fiery speech. But there was some frustration in there. And you can understand the frustration from President Trump's point. Look at all he's done. And let's keep in mind what this country would look like had we continued on with the Biden-era policies under the leadership of Kamala Harris. I say leadership, and I might as well add some air quotes because I don't necessarily think it would have been leadership. It would have been the same thing that we've seen, just another puppet in the chair. And I think Trump has every right to be frustrated. The border's secure. The tariffs are working. Manufacturing is coming back. $18 trillion in investments. All of the wars that he's won. The global stability that he has brought. It's unbelievable what he's done. So when he sounds a little frustrated, I get it. I don't think it was an angry speech though. To say what some are saying. Some are saying it sounded angry. I don't think it was angry. I think there was a little frustration, but I also think he was trying to get through it very, very quickly. That being said, he kicks things off reminding people about the last 4 years. And I understand why you need to remind people about the Biden administration. The American public does at times have the memory of a goldfish. And that sucks, but that's the reality of the situation. You do have to remind them how far we've come in such a little amount of time. And maybe that's one of the double-edged swords of Donald Trump. He's able to accomplish so much that you're also like, okay, well, why haven't you done this yet? Why haven't you done that yet? And I think he's accomplished so much in just under a year that you kind of look at this guy as a bit of a superhero, like he can do anything. And he does have his limitations. He does have his limitations. At a certain point, you're going to have to stop bringing up the last 4 years. I don't necessarily think he was wrong to do it last night. I think it was a good reminder. That being said, in 2026, I don't know about you. I don't really want to hear any more about the Biden administration. It's time to move forward. Last night was not that, though. He did remind everybody about what happened the last 4 years under Joe Biden. You want to give me a little audio there, Mason? Appreciate you, man. This is President Trump last night.
Good evening, America. 11 months ago, I inherited a mess, and I'm fixing it. When I took office, inflation was the worst in 48 years, and some would say in the history of our country, which caused prices to be higher than ever before, making life unaffordable for millions and millions of Americans. This happened during a Democrat administration, and it's when we first began hearing the word affordability. Our border was open, and because of this, our country was being invaded by an army of 25 million people, many who came from prisons and jails, mental institutions, and insane asylums.
He's right to remind everybody about where we came. And President Trump is right. The economy is moving in the right direction. We saw another example of that just this morning. The latest low inflation report came in, and it came in below every single expert. This was Kevin Hassett this morning on Fox Business.
It was just an absolute blockbuster report. You know, we before the numbers come out, we look at the forecasts from everybody we can find on Bloomberg. We've looked at 61 forecasts, and this number came in better than every single one of them.
Yeah.
Not a single economist surveyed by Bloomberg got it right. And
weird. I mean, listen, don't doubt Trump. Don't. I think he's making the right moves, and he's got a lot to clean up. And he mentioned the invasion that happened under Joe Biden. You can make the argument that caused a lot of the high prices, that caused a lot of the affordability issues. When we're also paying for all of the bennies, the benefits that the illegal aliens are getting, when the illegal aliens are getting the homes that could be going to American citizens, you understand just by simple supply and demand what happens in those scenarios. He did remind everybody about the border and how open it was under Joe Biden last night during his address to the nation.
Possible. Do you remember when Joe Biden said that he needed Congress to pass legislation to help close the border? He was always blaming Congress and everyone else. As it turned out, we didn't need legislation. We just needed a new president. We inherited the worst border anywhere in the world, and we quickly turned it into the strongest border in the history of our country. In other words, in a few short months, we went from worst to best. We're deporting criminals, restoring safety to our most dangerous cities. Just take a look at Washington, D.C.
Washington, D.C. is a huge success. The deportations have been good. They're not great. They could be better. I believe the last numbers that we got from the White House is about 600,000 deportations by force, about 1.5 million-ish by self-deportation, which, I mean, listen, the self-deportation strategy has been a huge success by the Trump administration. It costs us less. People are leaving en masse, and that's great. I'd like to see more deportations, and I think we all would. I think that we understand that if we don't get these individuals out, the country will never be the same. And as soon as a Democrat reclaims power, here comes the pathway to citizenship. Here comes mass amnesty, and then the country never recovers. We have to get the deportation numbers up. If you're gonna bash Trump about anything, it's that we haven't gone hard enough on mass deportations. We just haven't, and we need to. But the facts are the facts, and President Trump last night did his best to lay out the facts of the successes that we've had during this Trump administration. And he goes on a pretty lengthy tirade here where he talks about how things rose under Biden and how things are recovering under Trump. And we've heard a lot of this before. Make no mistake about it. But there were people out there last night who were brought into the Trump presidential address. Again, they did float the rumor that there was going to be a declaration of war against Venezuela. But there were people watching last night that you have to understand have not heard this without interruptions from the mainstream media, without the so-called fact checkers getting in the way, without the lies, the narrative, and the spin. So for a lot of Americans, this could have been the first time that they heard President Trump discussing this. And he made sure to highlight the biggest points.
Our Treasury for trillions of dollars, driving up prices and everything at levels never seen before. I am bringing those high prices down and bringing them down very fast. Let's look at the facts. Under the Biden administration, car prices rose 22% and in many states 30% or more. Gasoline rose 30 to 50%. Hotel rates rose 37%. Airfares rose 31%. Now, under our leadership, they are all coming down and coming down fast. Democrat politicians also sent the cost of groceries soaring, but we are solving that too. The price of a Thanksgiving turkey was down 33% compared to the Biden last year. The price of eggs is down 82% since March, and everything else is falling rapidly. And it's not done yet, but boy, are we making progress. Nobody can believe what's going on.
And as we see the energy prices continue to fall, we're going to see that ripple through the economy faster than anything else. You know, I was watching the speech last night, and then I watched it on Fox News, and then I think it was Hannity came on right after. And I was like, you know, I know what they're going to say. I get what they're going to say. I was like, let me go check out the competition. So I put on CNN. And they're trying to fact check in real time all of these different things, but they're just lying and spinning, and there's narrative tied in. They're like, prices aren't coming down. It's like, guys, if the price of a new car went up 30% and President Trump can drop it 7%, that's a huge drop. But yeah, we're not going back to before Biden. We're not there yet. We want to get back there, but it's going to take some time. And President Trump is laying that out for the country for all to see.
Here are just some of the efforts that we have underway. You will see in your wallets and bank accounts in the new year. After years of record-setting falling incomes, our policies are boosting take-home pay at a historic pace. Under Biden, real wages plummeted by $3,000. Under Trump, the typical factory worker has seen a wage increase of $1,300. For construction workers, it's $1,800. For miners, we're bringing back clean, beautiful coal. It's $3,300. And for the first time in years, wages are rising much faster than inflation. Remember that. The wages, just look at it. Wages are going up much faster than inflation. How big is that? Very importantly, there are more people working today than at any time in American history, and 100% of all jobs created since I took office have been in the private sector. Think of that. 100% of all jobs have been in the private sector rather than government, which is the only way to make a country powerful and great. This historic trend will continue. Already, I've secured a record-breaking $18 trillion of investment into the United States, which means jobs, wage increases, growth, factory openings, and far greater national security.
The $18 trillion of investment that the president has secured in the first 11 months is the biggest the biggest plant that we have put into the ground that we have not seen fruit from yet. And in 2026, we're going to start to see the fruit from these $18 trillion in investments. And I think that that's going to really turn this entire economy around. Now, time will only tell, right? I happen to think I'm right. And I happen to think within 6 months, we're going to see the fruit from that. We might not. I could be wrong. I'm open to being wrong. But only time is going to prove me correct or incorrect. There's more from the speech from President Trump. He said that he's going to be surging housing affordability in 2026. He went after big health insurance, and he also talked about Somalia and the Minnesota fraudsters. All that and more on the way. We got a lot to get to. Your calls are always welcome, as well as your text, 615-737-9986. This is Super Talk, 99.7 WTN.
Coming up here on Super Talk 99.7, somebody's stealing cell phones and wiping out bank accounts in Nashville. That story and more at 9:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I heard that story on the way in, Joan.
Yeah.
And I got some issues with it.
Oh, you do?
If the FBI can't get into the San Bernardino terrorist iPhone, how is it that some geek on Broadway can hack into somebody's iPhone?
It's pretty easy.
Don't tell me that, Joan.
I've seen it on TV. And everything you see on TV is true, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thought so.
All right, well, now I'm disappointed.
Keep your phone in your pocket.
So the FBI can't do it, but the hackers can?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't that kind of sad?
Now we know why Dan Bongino left.
That's right.
We'll talk about Dan Bongino on the way. We'll take some of your phone calls and your text messages as well. 615-737-9986. I'm Chris Ham, by the way. Show is brought to you by our friends at Better Water LLC, and you can watch it on Super Talk TV, YouTube, and Rumble. You get all the video for all the audio that you hear. We've been talking about President Trump's speech last night. He has a plan. He says, stick with me in 2026. It is going to be the golden age. We've been hearing that a lot, and there's been a lot of moves in that direction. And I do think that we're going to enter an unreal area of prosperity. But he says when it comes to housing affordability, he's got a lot of plans for 2026.
Generating plants, a record, and it's a record that won't be beaten by practically, I would say, by anybody, or certainly not very soon. Prices on electricity and everything else will fall dramatically. The Democrat inflation disaster, again, the worst in the history of our country, also robbed millions of Americans of home ownership and indeed the American dream. The yearly cost of a typical new mortgage increased by $15,000 under Democrat rule. In 11 months, we've already gotten that annual cost down by $3,000, and it's coming down a lot lower. Wait till you see. The numbers are going to be shocking. And I'll soon announce our next chairman of the Federal Reserve, someone who believes in lower interest rates by a lot, and mortgage payments will be coming down even further. Early the new year, and you will see this, in the new year, I will announce some of the most aggressive housing reform plans in American history. A major factor in driving up housing costs was the colossal border invasion.
The colossal border invasion. He's absolutely right. I actually got a text here from 3616. 3616 nails it. For every million people you bring in the country, costs go up 1%. They text in. Biden invited 20 million people into the country. Costs went up 20%. There's no housing because of the 20 million. They paid for everything, housing, medical, and food. What did they think was going to happen? Then they attacked energy, shut down coal plants, nuclear plants, costs go up. It's the Democrats that killed the dreams of Gen Z and millennials for home ownership and rent. Nailed it. And President Trump is continuing to clean up that mess. The mess was created over the course of 4 years. And people are mad that it's not in pristine condition after 11 months. Give the man time. He's cooking. It's 9:31. Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Good morning. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. Police are investigating some fresh evidence in the Brown University shooting. Here's Paul Morrow at Fox News.
They have live rounds. That is rounds that were not fired.
That's Morrow says that is key because the investigators can use DNA found on that live round.
You have a perpetrator handling rounds that have not been exploded that are found at this scene.
It's the first big break in a 5-day-old investigation. Well, he didn't waste any time last night. President Trump taking less than 20 minutes to deliver a year-end speech from the White House. He recapped his first 11 months in office.
In a rapid-fire 18-minute speech from the White House tonight, the president there arguing his administration has brought down prices for goods and services ranging from hotel stays to tickets for sporting events, breakfast sausage to gasoline. He promised reduced prices for prescription drugs next year, and he announced what he called a special warrior dividend, a $1,776 bonus for American service members.
It's ABC's Stephen Portnoy reporting. Some visitors to Nashville have ended up leaving town without their cell phones. That's because they were stolen as they were visiting downtown. Channel 4's Tracy Cornett says That's not all that went missing.
Thousands of dollars wired out of their bank accounts from Apple Pay. Their credit cards were also accessed. Police remind you, secure those phones and be aware of your surroundings.
Metro Nashville police have a suspect they'd like to talk to about those thefts. Now, I've added this story to my X account, and you can check out a photo of that suspect and call Crime Stoppers if you recognize them. Find me on X at Joan Jones, WTN. That is the latest news. We've got your weather up next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
Oh, sorry. I was browsing Glockstore.com, seeing what I was going to get myself for Christmas. They got a lot of good deals over at Glockstore.com. Have you been to the website? It's Chris Hand here for my friends at the Glock Store. If you got a pro Second Amendment guy or gal on your Christmas list, if it happens to be me, I've got you covered. The Glock Store's Christmas sale is going on right now, both in-store and online at Glockstore.com, and that's important because the easiest way to shop is online. You jump on Glockstore.com, you check out the deals on optics, barrels, compensators, magazines, extensions, extended controls, slide cuts, and even factory rebuild Glocks. And come on, if you can't tell the difference, why pay the difference? You load up your card online, you check out, and you choose pickup in store. And then the guys at Glock Store call you when it's ready. You swing by, you grab your gear, and you're done. No wandering, no guessing, no aimlessly moseying. You're in, you're out. Christmas shopping is done. It's the best deals of the year on the best gear in the country without any of the hassle. That's the Glock Store Christmas sale happening right now at Glockstore.com and the Glock Store retail showroom minutes from the airport, worth the drive from anywhere. All right, so anyway, Canada.
In the unlikely event that you find yourself the victim of a home invasion, we are urging citizens not to take matters into their own hands. But don't engage unless absolutely necessary.
Is that so? Don't take matters into your own hands? Bro, they're in my living room.
We urge you to call 911 and do everything you can to keep yourself and loved ones safe until police arrive, and be the best witness possible.
Oh, be the best witness possible as your wife is being beaten by home invaders. You're being tied up. Just call Lee, chip in, and be a great witness. You know, Superman, and then, you got Bizarro. In Florida, they're like, we're going to shoot you stone cold dead. This is Bizarro, Florida. Is that what Ontario is?
It's close enough.
It's 9:38 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? Chris Hand here. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC. You can listen to the show anywhere, iHeart, TuneIn, FM dial. You can watch us YouTube, Rumble. Those are the big ones. Hit like, hit subscribe, hit share. Jump in the chat on YouTube. Shout out to the chat. It's always bubbling in the chat. There's always something going on. There's always a liberal that you can argue with. They never call into the show, but they're always interested in being in the chat. Weird. 615-737-9986 if you do want to come call into the show. We appreciate you doing so. You can text it at the same exact number, 615-737-9986. Before we get back into the Trump speech, a couple things I want to get to. I always cruise social media during the breaks. This video is going viral. This is obviously a parody, and I feel sad that I have to say that in the beginning. But there's some people that would have no idea. This guy, he's obviously on a green screen, comedian, and he's at the Brown University shooting press conference.
We're asking the public to please stop referring to him as the Brown shooter, as this has an inherently Islamophobic connotation.
Sorry. It just made me laugh. It made me laugh.
Connotation.
Connotation. We'll talk about the Brown shooting in a little bit, I promise. Also, I had a quick update before we get back to Trump's address to the nation last night. Remember we talked about Jeannie, the sweet elderly woman that worked at Target that was berated by a liberal?
Yeah.
Okay, so the Give, Send, Go that they've been raising money for her on, last I checked, last night, all right, let me retrace my steps real quick. She was wearing a red Charlie Kirk Freedom shirt while working at Target in California. An unhinged liberal woman sees this elderly woman. The unhinged liberal had to be in her 30s, maybe early 40s. She sees this elderly woman wearing a Charlie Kirk shirt and thinks, I'm going to go viral, pulls out her phone and starts recording her while berating her, swearing at her, cussing at her. This sweet elderly woman does not respond with anger, does not respond with curse words. She says, I'm sorry that you feel that way. I hope you have a great rest of your day. And just kind of, she's like, I have to get back to work. I'm sorry. And it infuriated me when I saw this video because I'm like, man, I understand that there are some elderly folks out there who, you're retired and you're like, man, I'm bored. I want to go do something. My uncle, my dad's brother, he works at a gas station. It's not because of necessity. It's because, well, us handmen, we like to talk and chat quite a bit. We never actually shut up, and he wanted to find more people to talk to, so he started working at the gas station. So I get that there's some of that, but I would imagine there's a much larger number of our elderly that are working in these jobs not because they want to or because they're bored, but because they have to. And that was my first thought when I saw Jeannie getting berated. Like, this poor elderly woman struggling, trying to make it in California. And then she's working at Target, and she gets berated by some 40-year-old libtard, and it's just insane. So they set up a Give, Send, Go for her after this sweet old elderly lady was like, oh, I'm so sorry that you feel that way. Have a great day. After she's been told to F off and that she's going to get fired. She's like, oh, geez, gee whiz, I got to get back to work. They started raising her money on Give, Send, Go. This GoFundMe would probably shut it down. They've raised over $185,000 for her.
I just love that story.
Check. Isn't it amazing?
Yeah.
And they caught up with her, and this is what she had to say about the incident. This is Jeannie from Target. I think we all need to be a little bit more like Jeannie, especially around the holidays.
I know people are calling for her to be fired for this. Do you think that that's right? Would you like that to happen?
No, I don't think that's right. Like, one saying I have is, two wrongs don't make a right. She wronged me, but I don't want to wrong her, or I don't want her wrong, because it's not going to make it right. I mean, that was her opinion. But she's the one that put it on Facebook, or put it on that. So, but I really wouldn't want to see somebody lose their job over it.
I mean, how amazing is this lady? Shout out to Jeannie from Target. She still doesn't want the lady to get fired. People have been contacting the employer of the unhinged libtard who assaulted her verbally at that Target store in California. And they've been saying that you need to fire this woman because she's obviously psychotic. And I mean, how about this woman saying, please don't. Two wrongs don't make a right. We don't need to do that. It's just a cool story. And I wanted to give you that update. All right, back to the matter at hand. We were talking about Donald Trump's address to the nation last night. There was a couple times where I was like, man, he feels like 2016 Donald Trump. The anger, the frustration.
People are calling for her to be.
The anger and the frustration, you could feel it. I wouldn't. It wasn't an angry speech. This wasn't Joe Biden with the red background and the shaking of the fist, but there was a little bit of frustration there, and you could hear it when President Trump calls out the politicians and the insiders and all these people who have made America unaffordable and ruined our country over the last 4 years. I heard this line, and I was like, man, this is 2016 Donald Trump. This is 1776 vibes.
Agree. I was elected in a landslide, winning the popular vote and all 7 swing states and everything else, with a mandate to take on a sick and corrupt system that really just took the wealth from people and crushed the dreams of the American people. For the last 4 years, the United States was ruled by politicians who fought only for insiders, illegal aliens, career criminals, corporate lobbyists, prisoners, terrorists, and above all, foreign nations, which took advantage of us at levels never seen before. They flooded your cities and towns with illegal aliens. They decimated your hard-earned savings. They indoctrinated your children with hate for America. They just released a level of violent felons that we had never seen to prey on innocent. They caused war. They caused mayhem. They caused a horrible situation all over the globe. But now you have a president who fights for the law-abiding, hardworking people of our country, the ones who make this nation run, who make this nation work.
I believe him. I remember the last 4 years. When Donald Trump says that he's fighting for us, I take him at his word because I've seen the actions that he's taken. There's a large portion of the independents and then a smaller portion of black-pilled conservatives who think Trump isn't doing what we voted for. He's not doing the things that we wanted. This isn't what we signed up for. And I would just say, listen, Rome wasn't built in a day, and have you considered the alternative? Do you recall what we were dealing with in the last 4 years under Joe Biden? I do. And listen, I know this audience remembers, but I mean, golly, guys, what are we talking about here? Have you thought about what would have happened if Kamala Harris won? Have you? When I was working with Turning Point USA during the 2024 election, I had thought a lot about what might happen if Kamala Harris won. And I remember thinking to myself, I'm probably going to get raided by the FBI. And it's not because we did anything illegal, but because conservatives were going to be targeted. And that will happen again if we lose the midterms, if we lose the presidential race in 2028. We have to do everything we can to get the Republicans the win in 2026 and then again in 2028, or we're losing the Republic. It's not savable if we lose the midterms. We have to keep pushing. We got to trust this guy. And he's calling people out. He called people out a lot last night. Called out the Biden administration over and over again. And I made the comment at the beginning of the show, at a certain point, we're going to have to stop calling out the Biden administration. But I think right now, this speech last night, it was important to remind the American people how far we've come in such a little bit of time. And one of the big topics has been health insurance. It's been health insurance with the Democrats. This is going to be a topic going into 2026 as the subsidies are expiring, the COVID era subsidies on the Affordable Care Act. This is going to be a huge talking point. President Trump went after big health insurance and really laid it all on the line.
I'm also taking on the gigantic health insurance companies that have gotten rich on billions of dollars of money that should go directly to the people. The money should go to the people. That's you. So they can buy their own health insurance, which will give far better benefits at much lower cost. It will be far better health insurance. The current Unaffordable Care Act was created to make insurance companies rich. It was bad health care at much too high a cost. And you see that now in the steep increase in premiums being demanded by the Democrats, and they are demanding those increases, and it's their fault. It is not the Republicans' fault. It's the Democrats' fault. It's the Unaffordable Care Act, and everybody knew it. Again, I want the money to go directly to the people so you can buy your own health care. You'll get much better health care at a much lower price. The only losers will be insurance companies that have gotten rich and the Democrat Party, which is totally controlled by those same insurance companies. They will not be happy, but that's okay with me because you, the people, are finally going to be getting great health care at a lower cost.
Calling everybody out. Laying it all on the table. The only thing missing there was just a jab at John McCain for screwing up repealing Obamacare back in the day. But he's absolutely right. And the American people need to hear this. He also called out the Somali fraudsters. He had a nation address last night, and he put Somalia in the crosshairs. He put Tim Walz in the crosshairs. He called out Minnesota. We've been calling out Minnesota for weeks, but last night there were a lot of eyeballs. Every single network was covering this, every single one. And he made sure to remind people what has been imported into this country by the Democrats.
American-born citizens, 100%. In the end, government either serves the productive, patriotic, hardworking American citizen, or it serves those who break the laws, cheat the system, and seek power and profit at the expense of our nation. Look at Minnesota, where Somalians have taken over the economics of the state and have stolen billions and billions of dollars from Minnesota and indeed from the United States of America. And we're going to put an end to it. For so long as before my election, the vast majority of good and decent Americans were forced to watch as corrupt politicians plundered the halls of power. American.
He's right. And he called him out on one of the biggest stages that he could have. We're going to talk about the Minnesota fraud on the way. Ilhan Omar is in some hot water. She said her son was pulled over by ICE, and ICE went, oh, that's weird. No record of that. We'll talk about that and more. She got called out on it. Plus, she tried to tell Wolf Blitzer how important the Somalis are to America. And I'll tell you why she is lying through her teeth when we get back. It's 9:51. I'll take your phone calls as well right here on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here from my friends at Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. If you're thinking about replacing your HVAC system, this is one of those times where it makes a lot of sense to act. It's the end of the year, and there are some real savings on the table that you need to take advantage of, like the federal 25C tax credit. That can put up to $2,000 back in your pocket on a new central AC and furnace, or up to $3,200 if you go with a high-efficiency heat pump. These credits are expiring on December 31st, 2025. On top of that, you can stack TVA Energy Right rebates worth hundreds more on select high-efficiency systems. And then, on top of that, it's savings on savings on savings. On top of that, Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling is going to add another $1,000 off any new HVAC replacement, 15 SEER or higher. So if you're keeping score at home, that's federal credits, that's TVA rebates, that's Busy Bee savings, all working together. It's somebody, they're stirring the money-saving pot for you, and it's unbelievable. 615-775-7833. 615-775-7833. Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, your comfort, their mission, busybeehvac.com.
Up ahead, a human smuggling ring busted in Smithville, this one involving Mexican children. And President Trump announcing Freedom 250. We'll tell you what's happening in the U.S. for our 250th birthday. That's coming up here at 10 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Joan Jones in the newsroom. My name is Chris Hand. Mason Fleming is producing. The show is brought to you by Better Water, LLC. 615-737-9986 if you want to join the show. We're going to be talking about Ilhan Omar and Minnesota, don't you know? Somalia? Somali soda. We're torn. They all sound so good.
I'm a Somali soda guy.
You're a Somali soda guy. I'm a Somalia, don't you know? We love all the nicknames. We'll talk about Ilhan Omar here in a second. Let's get through some phone calls. My friend Anthony in Nashville, you're up first on Super Talk. What's up, Anthony?
Hello. Well, what about you, man?
I'm good, man. What's up?
I just want to talk about the issue, or not the issue. It's not really an issue. It's more of just a concerning pattern I see that everyone is seemingly okay with zero consequences for things that people are doing these days. Now, it's not going back to what they used to do, which was assuming it's like cancel culture or anything of that matter. No. But the lady just tried to get that woman fired for wearing a shirt.
Yep.
I just want people to remember that.
Yep.
And who knows what that lady's circumstances were, but she did get fired. But I appreciate her taking the better route, I guess if you will,
the high road.
Not saying anything about her. Yeah, she did that perfectly well, but saying that she wants zero consequences is not the correct thing you should want if you want to maintain a civil society, I guess if you will, because zero consequences.
Listen, listen. It wouldn't upset me if the lady got fired. I do understand how people were getting fired left and right for supporting Donald Trump, and we railed against that. So I don't like to wish that people get fired.
She didn't either, but it's a zero consequence thing that just made me kind of go, you shouldn't want that either. You shouldn't want consequences for what she did, and they didn't have to be fired, but consequences, because again, she wanted to get her fired, but I didn't say she,
Yeah, no, I mean, listen, I think you're 100% justified in feeling like that. We're talking about Jeannie from Target. Jeannie was verbally assaulted by a libtarded woman, and she was cussed at and sworn at for wearing a Charlie Kirk shirt at Target. And Jeannie got on an interview and said, I don't want her fired. Two wrongs don't make a right. This really sweet elderly woman. I think that she was right in saying that. I'm not mad that people are trying to go after this the unhinged liberal and trying to cost her job. I don't know. I wouldn't go head over heels in that direction myself. But
and she was right in the way she handled it, and I would handle it that way too. But it's there's a balance of something that has to occur in a way. Which you're right. Two wrongs don't make a right. That's absolutely right. But you can't leave a wrong that had happened and occurred because if there's no consequence for her, what's to say she won't stop she won't do it again?
Yeah, I mean, I think that she's been pretty well lambasted on the internet. Her employers have been notified. The hospital that she works at, they said they're doing a full investigation into the incident.
Right.
And I think for me, the big thing I'm focusing on is how great are conservatives to show up for this elderly woman and donate all this money, raise $185,000+ for her. That's remarkable. To me, I look at it and I see, the way God can use evil for good. And that to me is what was on full display there.
Thank you, Chris. I appreciate the time now. I just wanted to mention that as well. I appreciate it.
I hear you, Anthony, and I don't think you're wrong in thinking that. I think you're fair in wanting accountability for that woman. I don't blame you for that at all. 10 o'clock, Super Talk, 99.7 WTN.
O'clock. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. Breaking news on the economy this morning. A closely watched measure of inflation, the Consumer Price Index, was released this morning, and it showed consumer prices rose at a 2.7% rate year over year. That was lower than expected. Economists thought that it would be more like 3%. Today's report giving credence to President Trump's claims that Prices are not skyrocketing, as legacy media outlets had been reporting. A human smuggling ring involving children has been busted in Smithville, DeKalb County. Police there started investigating after a young girl escaped and went to the police station to say that she had been brought to the U.S. to work at Chabolita's restaurant and market in Smithville, along with 3 young boys. Investigators say 2 smugglers tied to Mexican drug cartels transported the kids across the border in Arizona and then forced them to go to work. Those kids are now in the hands of the Department of Children's Services, and 2 adults are in custody. Apparently, they say there may be more arrests coming. The search is on for a missing toddler and his mother, and the TBI said that 2-year-old Beckham Coleman, who went missing from Dyer County this morning with his mother, may have been in danger. But the TBI just reporting earlier, a couple of moments ago, that the 2 have been found safely. Nick Reiner will not be back in court for a few weeks after his high-powered attorney has asked a judge to postpone his arraignment on his parents' murders until January. ABC's Trevor Alt is in Los Angeles.
2 other children of the Reiners, Jake and Romy, they issued a joint statement. They said, and I'm quoting here, "Words cannot even begin to describe the unimaginable pain we are experiencing every moment of the day."
Nick Reiner could face the death penalty. Just this morning, President Trump kicked off America's celebration of its 250th birthday with what he calls Freedom 250. In a video message, the president said among the events, the lighting of the Washington Monument, a state fair on the National Mall, and what he calls the Patriot Games.
In the fall, we will host the first ever Patriot Games, an unprecedented 4-day athletic event featuring the greatest high school athletes, 1 young man and 1 young woman from each state and territory. But I promise there will be no men playing in women's sports. You're not going to see that. You'll see everything but that.
Yeah, one more highlight to that, a tour featuring cabinet officials and local and state leaders that visit the schools across the country to highlight America's history. The full video of President Trump making that announcement is available on my X account. You can find me there at Joan Jones, WTN. That is the latest news. We've got your weather up next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
Selling your home can be stressful, but it doesn't have to be. Get a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate. There are no showings, no open houses, no stress. Work with the #1 real estate team in the U.S. and close with confidence. Go to markspain.com today.
There used to be some common truths in America. Republicans and Democrats used to be, we could all agree that we had to have some semblance of border protection. Now, Republicans and conservatives still want border protection, but the Democrats, the progressives, they want a wide open border. It used to be that Republicans and Democrats could, at the very least, agree that crime was bad and committing crimes was bad, and that the perpetrators of such crimes should at the very least be charged and perhaps go to jail after their day in court. Now you have the Democrats that don't even believe that criminals who are committing crimes should even face charges. Just the basic, what is a man and what is a woman? The basic truth of, look down, what are you? The Democrats don't even have that right.
It's 10:06 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? My name's Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC. You can listen to us anywhere. iHeartRadio, tune in, the FM dial. You can watch us, Super Talk TV, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, Rumble. Hit like, hit subscribe, share the show with your friends. Free to do. Helps the radio station a lot. We appreciate you doing that. Just a little programming note. You know what we're doing today? We're recording an episode of Mostly Peaceful, but it's a special edition. It is the year in review for 2025. And we're going to have a special guest on the podcast.
Yeah, I got a special guest.
Matt Murphy will be joining us for the year in review. So it'll be myself, Dan Mandis, Matt Murphy. We're going to try and get that edited and up on Saturday. It might be Sunday afternoon. Full disclosure. It depends on how long we go.
Sounds like it could get out of control.
It might.
Yeah.
But we'll keep it mostly peaceful.
Please pray for me.
Yeah, right? I will.
Pray for Mason.
Yeah.
We're going to say a lot of mean things about him. And then we'll edit it all out and be like, I don't know what his deal is.
Yeah, you'll piece it together as one compilation of just hate towards me and send it to me personally, right? Yeah.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Hey, how popular are the Democrats? CNN wants you to know.
In the minds of the American public are lower than the Dead Sea. What are we talking about here? Well, let's take a look. The net approval rating for Democrats in Congress, you said it, Kate Baldwin, the lowest ever. Look at this. Overall, they are 55 points underwater. Their approval rating is south of 20%. It's even worse when you look at independents. Look at this. Negative 61 points. That means that their approval rating is 61 points lower than their disapproval rating. Quinnipiac has been polling this question for the better part of the 21st century. They have never found Democrats, at least those in Congress, in worse shape than they are right now.
Well, that sounds good for conservatives. Everybody tells us how unpopular President Trump is, but the Democrats have never, ever been as unpopular as they are right now. Harry Anton said lower than the Dead Sea. Yikes. I don't understand how they aren't so popular. I mean, they're out there fighting for everybody. Well, by everybody, I mean illegal aliens. That's pretty much what they're doing. They've been fighting for illegal aliens. Not America first. Not in the least bit. Their congressional reps, Ilhan Omar, very popular in Somalia. She got busted, caught red-handed, lying about ICE pulling over her son. I played this for you at the beginning of the week. It happened over the weekend, this interview. It was on a CBS affiliate in Minnesota, don't you know? Somali soda. Ilhan Omar said, you know what happened to me? It's so sad. ICE pulled over my son.
At a Target, he did get pulled over by ICE agents, and once he was able to produce his passport ID, they did let him go.
So your son went to Target last night with his passport.
He always carries it with him.
In case he gets pulled over.
Yes.
Which he did by ICE.
Yes.
Oh, gee whiz. Now, taking her story at face value, they let her son go because he wasn't an illegal alien. He wasn't disappeared off the streets by the Nazi Gestapo SS. No, he was released. Weird. You know, it's funny, though, because as this story has gained more popularity, ICE has spoken up. DHS Gov on X, that's the Homeland Security official Twitter account, said ICE has absolutely zero record of its officers or agents pulling over Congresswoman Omar's son. With no evidence, it is shameful that Congresswoman Omar would level accusations to demonize ICE as part of a PR stunt. Allegations that ICE engages in racial profiling are disgusting, reckless, and categorically false. What makes someone a target for immigration enforcement is if they are illegally in the U.S., not their skin color, race, or ethnicity. Under the Fourth Amendment of the U.S. Constitution, DHS law enforcement uses reasonable suspicion to make arrests. Sorry, Ilhan. Your son wasn't pulled over by ICE. There's no record of it. You got caught. I had a text her earlier saying Ilhan Omar is the Jussie Smollett of Congress. Juicy Smollett, if you will. She's doing her best Juicy Smollett. Was it Bubba Wallace or Rusty Wallace? One of them with the noose in the garage. They're doing the channel it's a noose in the garage. It's terrifying. So sad. So sad. It never happened, actually. She was asked about it with Wolf Blitzer. Ilhan Omar was. This is what she had to say.
The Department of Homeland Security says, and I'm quoting them, ICE has absolutely zero record of its officers or agents pulling over Congresswoman Omar's son, and have accused you of seeking to, quote, demonize ICE as part of a PR stunt, their words. What do you say to that?
Well, if ICE is saying that they have documentation of every single person that they have pulled over in Minneapolis, we would love to see that record, because we've certainly, myself and the governor, have been asking them to share information with us on the ways in which they have interacted with Minnesotans, and they have not been able to provide a single information. So it is amazing that they're able to put out this statement in saying definitely that they did not pull my son over when they haven't been able to answer anything else. And ICE has been known to lie when it comes to their enforcement.
ICE has been known to lie when it comes to their enforcement. Okay, prove it. What have they lied about? This is just another narrative, another spin. ICE has been proven to lie. Also, we've been requesting information from ICE, and they've also been requesting access to your jails. That hasn't worked out, so why would they work with you? You know, when we see the Democrats and they get the information from ICE, they use it to alert the illegal aliens. We've seen it all over the place. We're going to set up networks, and we're going to let the migrants know when ICE is in the area. Can't have our good old-fashioned, hard-working migrants being busted by ICE. We need our slave labor. We need it. Okay, got it. So Ilhan Omar lied about her son being pulled over. Or her son lied to Ilhan Omar about being pulled over. And then she gets on TV and she says, ICE lies. It's classic. It's a tale as old as time. You get caught doing something, accuse your enemy of doing just that. Okay, got it. Poor Ilhan Omar's son. He almost got disappeared, you guys. He almost got disappeared. She had more to say with Wolf Blitzer. We'll get to that in a second. But an investigative journalist working for Laura Loomer caught up with Ilhan Omar in the D.C. area and was trying to ask her a question. This is how the interaction went.
Hello, Congresswoman Omar. DHS says they have no record of ICE pulling over your son. Why did you lie about ICE targeting your son? One more time, why did you lie about ICE targeting your son, Congresswoman?
Yeah, you didn't get an answer. All you got was a little bit faster of a pace walking to try to keep up with the Congresswoman. She got busted. She got blown out for lying, and she doesn't want to own up to it. Back with Wolf Blitzer, she was talking about President Trump's travel ban. She said, and I quote, "The new travel ban by the president is inhumane and cruel."
President Trump signed a proclamation yesterday expanding the list of countries with full or partial travel restrictions from 39 to 39. That's up from 19. And Somalia is on that list. What's your reaction to that?
Oh, no.
I mean, the biggest worry of the new executive order is that it does separate families. It doesn't create an exception for U.S. citizens to have their family members be able to come visit and celebrate milestones with them. And so this is a very cruel, inhumane immigration policy that he is putting in place.
Cruel and inhumane to not allow people from the third world come to our country and leech off our system, launch terror attacks, be downright awful individuals, refuse to assist. It's cruel. How could we allow this to happen? Laos, Myanmar, Afghanistan, Iran, Syria, Sudan, Yemen, Somalia, South Sudan, the Republic of Congo, Equatorial Guinea, Sierra Leone, Mali, Niger, Libya, Chad, Haiti, just to name a few. Is anything of value going to be lost by having the travel ban in place? No. Could anything bad happen if the travel ban wasn't in place? Yes. So the travel ban is a good thing. It's cruel and inhumane, Ilhan Omar says. That's how you know it's actually a good move. Ilhan Omar represents the fine people of Somalia, not the people of Minnesota. We all know that. And she made the case for Somalians in the Somali community in Minnesota as best she could with Wolf Blitzer. They're not all fraudsters. They're valuable members of the community, says Ilhan Omar.
No, we are doctors, we are teachers, we are entrepreneurs, and we are elected representatives of our state.
I had no idea. This changes everything.
And so these vile comments and this sort of creepy obsession that that he has on me and Somali Americans really is dangerous, and it's beneath the office of the presidency.
It's a creepy obsession. It's a creepy obsession he has with Somalians. It has nothing to do with the fact that they've defrauded the state around $8 billion, right? No. Of course not. Of course not. He has a creepy obsession with me. It has nothing to do with the fact that you married your brother, and then that you probably lied to gain citizenship in the first place by saying you were younger than you actually were. No. That has nothing to do with that. It has nothing to do with your radical leftist policies or the fact that you're Somalia first. No. It's just weird and creepy. And the people of Somalia, hard workers.
No, we are doctors, we are teachers, we are entrepreneurs, and we are elected representatives of our state.
Again, that changes everything. I had no idea how many doctors, lawyers, and entrepreneurs we were getting from Somalia. So I did some research. I was like, man, this must be like utopia for doctors and entrepreneurs and teachers. So I was like, okay. How many doctors does Somalia have per capita? This is a crazy stat. So the United States has about 3 doctors per 1,000 people, okay? 254 to 302 per 100,000. This is from 2023, 2024 data from sources like AAMC. The per capita doctors in Somalia is 0.2 to 0.4 per 1,000 people. Okay. Teachers. In America, we have roughly 11 teachers per 1,000 students. In Somalia, they have less than 1 teacher per 1,000 students. Entrepreneurs, no data available. So when Ilhan Omar says the people of Somalia are...
No, we are doctors, we are teachers, we are entrepreneurs.
I would say, who needs doctors, teachers, and entrepreneurs more than America? That would be your home country of Somalia. Weird how that works out. Why don't you take the doctors and the teachers and the entrepreneurs and head back to Somalia and make Somalia great again? But why not? I mean, listen, if you guys, if all the Somali refugees are doctors and teachers and entrepreneurs, I mean, just based on the data, it's almost cruel for America to appropriate all those doctors and all those teachers and all those entrepreneurs. We need to do the right thing for Somalia, and we need to give them back their doctors. We need to give them back their teachers, and we need to give them back their entrepreneurs. And if you don't think that that's what we should do, I think you might be a bigot. How dare you not want Somalia to thrive? How dare the evil American empire take all the doctors and teachers and entrepreneurs from Somalia? They need to go back. 1021. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friends at Better Water LLC, a Christmas gift that's good for the whole family, not just the frogs. Better Water's got you covered. If you're tired of weird smells, stains, or just plain old bad tasting water at the house or even at the office, these are the guys you need to call. You can think of it like a giant Brita filter for your entire home, or you can scale it down to fit under your sink, or you can do one for your entire business, and they handle everything. You could have some nasty stuff in your water. I don't want to scare you, but it's gross. Sulfur, iron, chlorine, bacteria, even E. coli. If you got any of that nasty stuff in there, Better Water can get it out for you. If you're not sure, they'll test your water for free. Just tell them that you heard on the Chris Hand Show. They'll get to your place. They'll test the water for free. If you got any of the nasty stuff, they'll offer reverse osmosis, specialized filters, UV lights, you name it. Better Water can clean it up. Local company based out of Smyrna. You've probably already tasted their work at the local coffee shops and hospitals around town. So stop drinking the junk out of your tap. Give Better Water a call today. 615-355-6063. That's 615-355-6063. Or find them online, betterwater.com.
Stocks are trending sharply higher this morning after some good news on the economy. It's coming up here at 10:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Thank you, Joan Jones. 1025 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? It's Chris Hand. I have a correction to issue. I have a correction. We were talking about all of the doctors and the entrepreneurs and the teachers.
No, we are doctors, we are teachers, we are entrepreneurs, and we are elected representatives of our state.
And I said, listen, we need to make Somalia great again. They don't have enough doctors and teachers and entrepreneurs. So we, unless you're a bigot, we need to send them back so that way Somalia can thrive. We can't let the evil American empire take all of their doctors and teachers and entrepreneurs. That would be wrong. That would be wrong. Many of you on the text line reminded me that they said, listen, Somalia also needs a strong political body, and Ilhan Omar would have to go back to help with that as well. I'm sorry I missed it. I apologize. You're absolutely right.
At least you know when to admit you're wrong.
I'm not going to be right all the time. How can it thrive without Ilhan Omar? If she went back to Somalia, they'd say, stop talking. You know that, right? They'd be like, hey, I have an idea on how to help this country. They'd be like, aren't you a woman? It's kind of an issue. Just It's just a little bit of an issue. 615-737-9986 if you want to join the conversation. Elsewhere in Minnesota, the Somali fraud continues. And Tim Walz, the governor, has been called on to resign by members of the Trump administration, Linda McMahon in particular, with the levels of fraud that she's seeing. But it was yesterday in the Minnesota House that we had a disability advocate by the name of Nathaniel Olson just rake Tim Walz over the coals. If you're watching on Super Talk TV, you'll see this guy, he seems like he's a liberal. He seems like somebody that voted for Tim Walz. And at the same time, everything he's about to say here is correct. He is fed up with the corruption that he has seen. This is a disability advocate, Nathaniel Olson.
Madam Chair, I'm Nathaniel M. Olson, a disability advocate for the state of Minnesota. I've heard the commissioners and the Department of Human Services, but the one thing that I'm freaking worried about is this freaking fraud that is happening over our state, where there's 600,000 disability people in the state of Minnesota that could suffer. And sadly, it's quite interesting that we have Governor Walz speaking in front of the state and saying that this fraud is nothing but the side. But my people are done suffering. We're done with this fraud. We're done with the Department of Human Services coming up here and saying, oh, we're going to figure this out. This has been too long. The administration knew that this fraud was coming. I've talked to families, parents, everyone have been reaching out to me and saying, oh, this is what is happening to my child. This is what is happening to my child. We're afraid. We need to put aside these differences, and we need to come together and put a stop to this fraud. Our governor is not doing anything to help us, but sit here and decide he wants to blame Donald J., the President of the United States, who has nothing to do with this.
Amen. Amen, brother. You know, so often when we hear about the fraud, you forget about who it impacts. And when billions of dollars are stolen from a state, that's billions of dollars in resources that can't go to people that need it. We are not heartless. There is a need for a social safety net in this country. But it's for people that need it, not for Somalis who are lying about their kids having autism, not for Somalis who are lying about feeding the community. There are individuals in Minnesota who do everything by the book and get screwed over by an incompetent governor, an incompetent attorney general, incompetent representatives. They look the other way because the Somalis are too big of a voting base. And then they say, oh, you know who did this? It was Donald Trump. I guarantee you this guy, Nathaniel Olson, voted for Tim Walz. He doesn't explicitly say it, but I would bet $1,000 this guy voted for Tim Walz, and he is completely fed up. You're going to blame Trump for the fraud?
There is a time to hold our governor accountable, and I'm not seeing it. This fraud is outrageous. And I'm very scared for my little brother if he goes into ICS home. But right now he's home with my parents, and he's going to stay there because I'm going to keep fighting for these disability people because none of them are right here. And I am their voice. It is time for us to say enough is enough.
Tim Walz should resign. It's 10:30. Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I'm Joan Jones with your top stories and great news on the economy this morning as we learned that inflation dropped in November. Here's ABC's Alex Christoforous.
We were expecting inflation to show that consumer prices rose 3.1% last month compared to the same time last year. But instead, we saw consumer prices rose 2.7%. And if you strip out food and energy prices and you get to what they call the core inflation rate, it was actually 2.6%. So this report coming in a lot cooler than expected.
And on Fox Business this morning, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent predicting it's a trend that'll continue into 2026.
With affordability,
I suspect that we are going to see a substantial drop in inflation in the first 6 months of next year. Rents are down. The story that the Biden administration doesn't want to talk about, the mass unfettered immigration, they have pushed up rents. We brought interest rates down. So we've seen mortgage rates down, and I think everything else will follow that.
Other news of the day, the Wilson County School Board member arrested this week for indecent exposure is fighting those charges. The newly hired lawyer for Donnie Self says there's not enough evidence to support the charges, and he believes that case should be dismissed. Video of the incident at a Lebanon chicken restaurant is reportedly unclear. The incident still under investigation. The Nashville Predators announcing the death of Sheila Crisp. She is the wife of retired color analyst Terry Crisp. On their X site, the Preds said that she'll be remembered for facing cancer bravely and her impeccable sense of humor. Sheila and Terry shared 3 children and 10 grandkids. That is the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friends at USS United Structural Systems. How do you get 30,000 satisfied customers? How do you get an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau? How do you get 1,800 plus 5-star reviews? You do it by being honest. And that's what United Structural Systems does for you. If you got waterproofing or foundation issues, call USS, because they're not going to send a sales guy worried about their quota. They're going to send somebody worried about your home. That's it. It's that simple. That's the difference. That's why USS has been in business since 1994. If you're noticing any of these warning signs in your home, floors sagging, cracks showing up in the drywall, doors that won't shut right, these are red flags that you could have something much more sinister happening right beneath your feet. And if you got foundation issues, you need to call the best. You need to call USS. They use American-made adjustable steel supports built to last and backed with a transferable warranty. Even if you leave the home, the warranty can stay. That's how confident they are in the work they do. So when it comes to your home, don't kick the can down the road, and don't go with the other guys. Call the people we trust, United Structural Systems, 615-488-7855, 615-488-7855, or find them online, USSTN.com.
Come celebrate Christmas and the birth of our Savior at World Outreach Church in Murfreesboro during our Christmas Eve services on December 23rd at 6:30 p.m. and December 24th at 1, 3, and 5 p.m. With all the busyness of the Christmas season, it is important to remember why we celebrate and reflect on God's goodness to us in the Christmas story. Invite a neighbor, family members, and friends to come with you. You can find all the details at wchurch.org. Merry Christmas.
I'm WSMV4 First Alert meteorologist Stefano DiPietro. It's a First Alert weather day today with gusty winds and rain expected across the mid-state. Highs near 60 today, but wind picking up between 30 and 35 miles per hour this afternoon. Widespread scattered showers and thunderstorms this afternoon and heading into the evening. The main concern would be heavier downpours with any thunderstorm. Rain tapers off tonight. We're down near freezing for the overnight low. It's a chilly Friday. We stay in the 40s with more sunshine. We're back in the 50s to near 60 this weekend, and it's dry all weekend long.
It's 10:37, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? My name is Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by our friends at Better Water LLC. Water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. You can listen to us anywhere, iHeart, TuneIn, the FM dial. You can watch us on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and Rumble. Super Talk TV is up and running. If you're watching us on YouTube or Rumble, hit like and hit subscribe, and you're probably noticing an abnormally large bucket in front of me. It's heavy.
That's a hefty bucket,
It's a heavy bucket. I got a gift here. It says, to the Hand family from Matt, Erica, is that Munson and Mrs. Beasley? Mason and Mrs. Beasley? Does he have a dog named Munson or Mason?
Not that I know of. He's got dogs.
He's got dogs. They gave me an abnormally large bucket for me and the wife and the kids.
Yeah, you were on the air, and he came and gave it to me in here so I could give it to you in between. And he said, give this to Chris Hand for him and his abnormally large family.
It's true. I have an abnormally large family. 4 kids, 2 dogs, and they'll get some of this stuff. I'll eat a lot of it on the way home.
Yeah, that popcorn is addicting.
Huge thank you to our friend Matt Murphy, and we all know it was Erica.
Yeah.
Huge thank you to Erica.
She's
Erica
amazing.
Erica Murphy.
We appreciate her. We love her.
Yeah. Big E, we love it. Thank you so much. Appreciate you guys. If you're watching on Super Talk TV, you might catch me munching on these. I'm like, I could have, if I had this last break when we were playing the Disability Advocate.
Oh, yeah.
I would have had ample time to take bites while he was breathing.
No,
the poor guy.
Yeah,
the poor guy was a little breathy, and
just a little bit.
I saw your comments on Super Talk on the text line. So, Murphy does have a dog named Munson.
That makes sense.
I was just unsure. Shout out to the Super Texters; these guys are better than me. It's got to be Murphy's handwriting. It was a little bit difficult to decipher.
I'm not used to reading hieroglyphics, but Murphy writes.
What is this from, like a pyramid wall or something? What is this? No, thank you guys. I appreciate y'all.
Yeah, I was like, to be fair, his handwriting is much more legible because you at least tell it's words. Mine looks like chicken scratch on pavement. So
I too have gifts for the whole crew that I'll be bringing in.
Oh,
I'll be bringing them in next week.
I'm scared.
They're not bucket full.
Yeah,
they're more. I mean, well, if we could get the likes up, I'd be able to get these guys better gifts. So
I've been looking forward to my bread and water all year. Yeah. You keep talking about your kids getting them.
All right,
where's mine?
When we started the YouTube stuff, do you remember how mad people were when they were like, "Please hit like and subscribe"? They were like, "Why are you doing that? Stop saying that." I was watching Fox 17 last night, and they started doing it.
Really?
Yeah, hit like and subscribe.
So funny.
Like, yeah, it's the move, guys. This is the way the technology is going.
It's like we're in a digital age.
It's weird. And there's some radio stations that don't do it, and I'm like, guys, you're falling behind.
Yeah, it's unfortunately FM is becoming the dinosaur of the group. I mean, it's been there for a while, but
well, I mean, and you see it with the cars, with all the internet connectivity that's moving. It's like at a certain point, the FM frequency will become like the AM frequency, and just be like, oh, I remember when we had hit music stations on the AM dial. Like, do you know what I mean? It's changing rapidly. So please help us stay relevant in 2026 and hit like and subscribe on YouTube and Rumble. Plus, if everybody in the audience was listening, right? If everybody in the audience was listening went and hit liked, we'd have thousands more subscribers. And I know that this may seem selfish, but it's really a benefit to you guys, because if we have a larger digital footprint in 2026, then we get bigger names. Do you know how long I've been harassing Sean Duffy's people, Secretary Duffy, to get on the show? And it's like he doesn't He doesn't care because he can go on Fox News and hit a national audience. So it's like, if we get the subscriber base up, and we had, what do we got? We got 23,000 likes on Facebook, but we got 13,000 subscribers on YouTube. If we could get that up to 23, to maybe 50,000 subscribers, man, the sky is the limit what this radio station can do in 2026.
We're pulling so much from that. Especially didn't Murphy just have Mike Johnson on?
Yeah.
A little bit ago?
Big Mike.
We would not have been able to do that
Michelle,
at the beginning of this year, because at the beginning of this year, we only had 2,300 when we were starting out. We've gained over 10,000 subscribers. That's nuts.
If we just had 100 dedicated audience members to make 10 to 20 YouTube profiles, it would be huge.
Yeah, they have temporary emails online, right?
They do. I'm sure they do.
Yeah.
I'm sure they do.
Easy.
Lot to get to. Brown University. Let's talk about Brown. It has been confirmed that there were no cameras on the outside where the shooter exited. However, it does begin to appear that there were cameras in the room where the shooting took place. This is going around online. It is the internet, so hey, it's the internet. Be careful. But this guy who's been on top of the case said, busted. Looks like there was cameras in the room after all. Officials state that there are no cameras in the older portion of the Barris and Hawley building where the shooting occurred at Brown University. Google Images show several photos that appear to be from the same elevated location inside of classroom 166, where it is said to have occurred. Yesterday, a local news reporter erupted during a briefing by authorities. He claimed his friend is a detective who is furious that evidence is being purposefully hidden from authorities. And then somebody reached into AI and said, yes, this image is from classroom 166 inside the Barris Hawley building where that shooting took place. And Fox News has photos from inside that room as well. So no cameras on the outside, but there were cameras on the inside. And again, that was confirmed that there were no cameras on the outside by Fox News yesterday. And it's raising a lot of questions. In particular, people are asking if there were no cameras on that side, so that way illegal aliens could sneak out of the university should ICE come in. I don't know if that's the case, but that's the conversation online. This is the Fox News report last night.
Gunman, primary person of interest, the suspect, came out of that entrance or exit and started walking this way and passing this dumpster. If you just look around this parking lot and show everybody, there are no cameras that we can see out here, right outside of the Barris and Hawley building. You can see there are no cameras that we see visible to the eye. So that is something that has been a big sticking point in this investigation.
Why wouldn't you put cameras on the perimeter of campus so you can see who's coming on the campus and who's coming off? That's Security 101. Here we have surveillance video that caught
Security 101. That was Fox News last night with Jesse Waters. Jesse Waters has been doing, I'll be honest with you, I doubted him as the replacement over Tucker. I didn't think he was going to level up in the way he has. I have been completely proven wrong. He's been doing a great job. And his reporting on the Brown stuff has been unbelievable. I was watching last night. This is what I learned. Brown's head of it's like, are they woke in covering the identity of the shooter to advance their woke ideology, or are they woke and incompetent? I mean, you be the choice. Brown's head of campus security, this is what I learned last night from Jesse Waters. Brown's head of campus security was fired from his last job for not having proper credentials. The head of campus security. Black guy. Was it a DEI hire? Begs the question. Brown's president may have removed security cameras from the campus at the behest of Palestinian activists. Just a rumor, but it's interesting. Providence City Council Chief of Staff is a genderless bisexual who was arrested for protesting at Trump Tower. And the police chief, the DEI police chief, is a Colombian-born immigrant. He's now the chief of police for Providence. And he has a nephew who ran one of, if not, the largest fentanyl ring on the East Coast. What is going on? You wonder why nothing is happening, why there's no leads days later. And then you get you get they keep asking the public for help, right? Like, hey, we need the public's help in solving this crime. We sure do need the public's help in solving this crime. And then you get, Senator Sheldon Whitehouse get up there yesterday, and he's like, if the public thinks they know what's going on, they need to shut up. It's like, okay, so you're asking for our help. And then when people start digging and they find things like, I don't know, you guys removing that individual from the websites who was a Palestinian activist, who individuals on the internet said maybe this is the shooter. When that starts happening and you start noticing that you're removing all that info from the website, then it's like, stop it, shut up. Sheldon Whitehouse was speaking in the Senate Judiciary Committee. This was yesterday morning. And he said, if you think you know what's going on in this case, despite the fact that we're asking the public for help, shut the hell up.
There's simply no need from an investigative point of view for people who have no idea what they're talking about to offer their stupid and ill-informed views about what happened all over the internet. So I would please, just from a law enforcement perspective, ask anyone who sees this to just shut up until we know who did it and why. We will find out. Give it some time.
Just shut up. Authorities are asking the public for help. Senator Whitehouse, shut up. Don't put it on the internet, you idiot. It's like, what are you guys doing? What are we doing? We used to be a proper country back when we were a meritocracy, and you can point to failures at every level of leadership at Brown University. You can point to failures at every level of leadership with the Providence Police who are handling the investigation. You can even point some fingers at the FBI. What the hell's the FBI doing? Largest mass shooting in American history, unsolved. The largest unsolved mass shooting in American history. Nobody knows. Long gone. The guy is long gone. There's also theories online that maybe there was a spotter. Is there a second shooter involved? We have no idea because we're getting no information from the police. And it gets even worse. It continues to get worse. Yesterday, the DEI Providence Police Chief revealed that they were 5 days removed from the shooting and that they hadn't interviewed any of the student eyewitnesses. This really happened. So while we're speculating over what the shooter yelled and how that might, show us his motive, because people are reporting that he shouted Allahu Akbar, they're saying that's not what he shouted. Stop. Nobody knows what he shouted. But we learned yesterday that they haven't interviewed the student eyewitnesses for a description. Oh, that's weird. Let's hear it from the DEI police chief's own mouth.
Colonel, can you now explain to us 5 days later how many students were in that classroom? Sadly, 2 lost their lives, 9 others injured, encouraged about the update today. But can you now say how many kids were in that classroom, and did the gunman come in from the back so these people never knew it was coming, or did he come in front with full view of everybody?
And that's all part of the interviews, and actually we're cooperating with Brown to get the roster. That was a study hall, so we don't have the number. We're still getting information as far as who was there. I know Brown sent out an email to the students to notify us if they were present, and we're still getting that, so I can't give you an exact account now.
We're still trying to get the roster to do interviews? We don't know who was in the classroom? You're 5 days removed, and is that a suitable answer? Is this DEI incompetence, or is this like weaponized incompetence? Are they doing this for a reason? There's a lot of theories circulating online. Jack Posobiec posted this as well, saying that he has 2 sources at Brown that confirm that Ella Cook was an inside job. She was the VP of the college Republicans at Brown University. This is a very liberal campus. And many individuals are now saying on the internet that they have their own sources at Brown, because obviously we can't trust these police officers to do a good enough job. But they're saying, heard from a Brown source, Ella Cook was an inside job. Location of a review session was never publicly posted. Interrogate everyone who was in the classroom. At minimum, they should have more detailed descriptions of the suspect. Is Brown threatening them into silence? Jack Basobic saying, I can now state, I also have a second Brown source that confirms this. This was not a regular study session. This was an ad hoc econ study session added on for finals. Nobody knew that this was taking place. They're saying this wasn't random. This was targeted. And there are other rumors on the internet that Ella Cook was shot multiple times. The only one that was shot multiple times. Again, with the lack of information that we're getting from Providence police, all we're left to do is speculate. And it's infuriating. Again, why were there no cameras outside? Were there cameras inside? These are questions the public demands to know. And we got nothing. You haven't even interviewed the students. You don't even know who was in the classroom. Are you kidding me? I am not in law enforcement. I don't have a law enforcement background. That's step one. Is that step one? Interview who's on the scene? Talk to the witnesses? It's like, what? You could have a kid watch like a season of Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego and have a better investigation than what we're getting from Providence Police. Just one season. Learn what you can from this kid's show and then conduct an investigation. And the 12-year-olds would do a better job. Again, why weren't there cameras on the outside of the building? Well, yesterday, a Latino radio host, this is how the press conference ended yesterday. A Latino Rhode Island radio host accused them of deliberately removing the security cameras at Brown because of their sanctuary city laws, so that way it wouldn't record illegal aliens.
The camera in that building that Brown put up because the sanctuary city law that we have. You don't want to record illegal immigrants, and you don't want to provide the footage to the FBI or immigration authority. One camera in that building, it come out from your detectives, they're a friend of mine, they're angry at this investigation that these people in Brown University put the camera off, they can identify that person. You imagine how the family want to go through?
Okay, so if I listened to it a couple times, and I understand he's talking with a thick accent. He says he has a friend who's a detective. So they pulled that camera off the outside of the building because of the sanctuary city laws, because they didn't want to catch illegal aliens on camera. These are flame-throwing accusations. And this Latino radio host in Rhode Island is saying that he has a source inside the police department, a friend who's a detective who told him just that. Whew. Let's hear from the mayor of Providence, Rhode Island, whose husband has been photographed with a Palestinian flag in hand and Free Palestine banners, and let's hear what he has to say.
Tell the truth to the media here. Putting cameras off.
We heard from both the Brown police chief and the provost at Brown, who have shared that they have been fully cooperative and been forthcoming with all data and evidence that they have.
Yeah, they've given us everything they have. They just haven't done the police work to get anything else. Embarrassing. 100% embarrassing. And the longer this goes on, the more the speculation is going to be, is this an inside job and are they covering for somebody? It's wild. 10:54, Super Talk, 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friend Shane Ring over at Cover Nash. Did you miss open enrollment for your company's health insurance and you're thinking, man, I am screwed. I got to wait till next year. You know that's wrong, right? That's just what the big guys want you to believe. With Cover Nash, you can get covered right now with no waiting and no gimmicks. You missed open enrollment, no problem. Shane can take care of you. You lost your job coverage, no problem. Shane's got you covered. If you're just sick of overpriced junk insurance, you're in the right place. Cover Nash partners with over 75 top-rated insurance companies, including brand new nationwide PPO options with deductibles as low as $250, flat $50 doctor visits, ACA-compliant plans, free preventative care, plans for individuals, families, self-employed, small businesses, you name it. Shane's got a plan for you. Stop overpaying, stop waiting, and stop thinking you're stuck. Make a phone call. What is the worst that could come from a phone call with Shane Ring? that you save some money and get better health insurance? Sounds like actually a great phone call. 615-465-0023, 615-465-0023, or find Shane online. Book an appointment today, covernash.com.
It's 11 o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. We've got some rain falling out there. Some of it's heavy, and it's slowing you down in some spots, drivers, mainly because of a crash if you're going 40 eastbound between 65 West and Church Street. This is between exit 208 and 209A. Also, we're looking at some breaking news right now out of North Carolina. The Associated Press is reporting that a business jet crashed while landing at a regional airport in North Carolina and erupted into a large fire. So we will be following that for you and get some details as soon as they become available. Here in Tennessee, authorities in Smithville say they've rescued 4 children from a human trafficking operation. Investigators say the victims were smuggled across the border, forced to work at Chabelita's restaurant and market. The case came to light after one child escaped and alerted police. 2 men are facing charges. Federal agencies warn more arrests could follow. Also, News 2 says a new bill in Tennessee would require schools to track early warning signs of violence in students. The proposal calls for a computer-based system where teachers log concerns like bullying, threats, or mental health issues. Those entries would alert a school threat assessment team for quick intervention. If passed, the law would take effect in July. And here in Middle Tennessee, a Dixon County teenager is dead after trying to escape her ex-boyfriend's car. Channel 4's Dryden Quigley says 17-year-old Taylor Rattery had just left work.
Dixon police say she was picked up by her ex-boyfriend, 18-year-old Hunter Jackson. They say as they got to this traffic light, Taylor tried to jump out of Jackson's car. Then he shot her. She was found by police and taken to Skyline, where she died from her gunshot wound.
It was very sad. It was very just like a wow moment. You know, you just have to kind of sit and think like that's someone you know that is no longer here with us.
Her family shared these photos of Taylor. They say she had big dreams for the future and was excited to start college next year.
Hunter Jackson in jail on a $3 million bond, charged with her murder. Tennessee troops are getting a pay boost in the new year. The 2026 National Defense Authorization Act includes a 3.8% raise for all service members starting January 1st. The bill also funds upgrades at Fort Campbell and a new aircraft maintenance hangar for the Tennessee National Guard. It's now headed to the president's desk for final approval. That's the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
It's 11:06 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? It's Chris Hand. Show is brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration system, water softeners, betterwater.com. Another day and another terror plot foiled. 2 terror plots foiled. Another mass shooting prevented in the nick of time. Last weekend, Leipzig, Germany. 27-year-old Syrian was denied entry to a nightclub next to the Christmas market because it was full. The Syrian, who's known to police for prior offenses, they're always known, left the scene but returned minutes later and pulled an AK-47 from his jacket. He luckily failed to correctly insert the magazine, and security staff were able to tackle and disarm him. But that's not the most shocking part. The shocking part is this: he was released on bail pending investigations. What the hell's going on in the West? What? Let him go. How could he be a danger to the community? Then we got another story here. This is coming out of Australia. They're on high alert after after the terror attack that they had just over the weekend, but they foiled another terror attack, Islamic terror, and this is breaking today.
There was news overnight, Australian police conducting a huge operation in a suburb of Sydney, only days after the terror attack in Bondi Beach nearby. Agents acted on new intel suggesting another possible violent plot, but they have not identified an immediate link to the ongoing investigation. In Sydney for us, Steve Harrigan chasing down all of these leads and joins us now. Steve, hello.
Bill, Australia's counter-terror police are in action in a very big way in a suburb of Sydney. In heavily outfitted tactical gear, they rammed 2 vehicles, detained 7 men they say were planning a violent attack on the way here to Bondi Beach to carry out an attack, but police saying there is no connection at this point between those plans and the attack that did take place here on Sunday. In the meantime, as funerals continue for the 15...
No links between the two? Nothing? Would you consider Islam a link? No? Well, hopefully they get those gun laws passed so that way this can stop happening in Australia. It's insanity. These people are insane. This is going to continue in the West. It's 100% going to continue until people get their heads on straight and realize that Islam is a death cult. And the more you welcome it in, the more issues like this you're going to have. 615-737-9986 if you want to join the conversation. I also want to talk about Venezuela. This has been at the top of the stack for a couple of days. Venezuela, as you know, we've been blowing up their drug boats, which I'm a huge fan of. But it was yesterday that we got the news that they were going to be blockading the Venezuelan ships. And it was on my stack yesterday to discuss, but we just ran out of time. It's only a 3-hour show. I wish I had longer with you guys because it seems like there's always more news of the day than we have an opportunity to get to. And I don't know, is the Venezuela blockade, does that tickle your interest? Is that something that you're overwhelmingly concerned or interested about? I would say I'm not necessarily. I think there would be larger impacts from a war with Venezuela if we had a Democrat president and a wide open southern border. I think there'd be a lot more concern that you would create a flood of refugees. Would you get into war with this country that would then come up into the Americas and mess everything up? But with the southern border being closed by President Trump, a war with Venezuela doesn't give me as much heartburn. It just doesn't, and I don't see it being boots on the ground. Currently, where it stands, President Trump has a naval blockade in Venezuela, and he was talking about it yesterday. This was after the dignified transfer of the bodies of these slain soldiers from Syria. He was about to get on Air Force One, and he was answering some questions.
Just a blockade. We're not going to let anybody going through that shouldn't be going through. You remember they took all of our energy rights. They took all of our oil from not that long ago, and we want it back. But they took it. They illegally took it.
Want the oil back. Okay. Listen, if it helps America, I'm here for it. Just being honest. If we can eliminate the narcos, if we can eliminate the government that is supporting them, and then we get some oil in the meantime, that sounds like a pretty good deal. I'll take it. It doesn't give me heartburn at all. We all know about the Maduro regime. To say that they are legitimate would be would be a complete overstatement. It's an illegitimate regime. It was Trump on Truth Social saying Venezuela is completely surrounded by the largest armada assembled in the history of South America. It will only get bigger. And the shock to them will be like nothing they have ever seen before until such time as they return to the United States of America all of the oil, land, and other assets that they previously stole from us. The illegitimate Maduro regime is using oil from these stolen oil fields to finance themselves, drug terrorism, human trafficking, murder, and kidnapping. For the theft of our assets and many other reasons, including terrorism, drug smuggling, and human trafficking, the Venezuelan regime has been designated as a foreign terrorist organization. Therefore, today, I am ordering a total and complete blockade of all sanctioned oil tankers going into and out of Venezuela. The illegal aliens and criminals that Maduro regime has sent into the United States during the weak and inept Biden administration are being returned to Venezuela at a rapid pace. America will not allow criminals, terrorists, or other countries to rob, threaten, or harm our nation, and likewise will not allow a hostile regime to take our oil, land, or any other assets, all of which must be returned to the United States immediately. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Total blockade. All the sanctioned oil tankers. No one in, no one out. This is how Fox News reported the latest on the oil blockade. Let's listen in.
Just breaking right now across the wires, President Trump is ordering a total and complete blockade of all sanctioned oil tankers going into and out of Venezuela, saying that the armada around Venezuela will only get bigger, and that the Venezuelan regime has been designated a foreign terrorist organization, crossing on all the wires coming from the Trump administration and the president himself, a blockade of all sanctioned oil tankers into Venezuela. As we look at some of those drug boat takeouts, that's a significant move around the country of Venezuela.
Yeah, I mean, Brett, it's incredibly disturbing. I think this is why you're seeing members of Congress on both sides of the aisle coming forward and saying, you know, we need to understand a little bit more about what the posture is and what the reasoning and rationale is.
That's why you're seeing both sides of the aisle. I mean, it's just Democrats and then Massey and Rand Paul, right? Is that considered both sides of the aisle? Again, this doesn't give me heartburn. I'm not overly stressing about it. The Democrats are going to use this as a talking point. They've been using the drug strikes, the boats as a talking point. Chuck Schumer, just a couple days ago, was livid. He found a podium and he was so upset about what Marco Rubio
just breaking right
and
now.
And Pete Hegseth are doing. He gave a nice long press conference. Chuck Schumer on the narco boats being blown up.
Joining me today, and we had a deeply unsatisfying briefing this morning with Secretaries Rubio and Hegseth. It asked more questions than it answered, and it was just, look, there is almost no transparency in this administration, and that reveals itself more than anything on revealing what happened on September 2nd. This morning I demanded in front of every senator, to Hegseth's face, that he let every senator see the unedited video of what happened on September 2nd. I've seen it. It turns your stomach. It is awful, and people should see it.
You know, it's funny that he's having his stomach turned and he's so just heartbroken about what's happening to the narco terrorists. But we never saw this same energy when Venezuelans were coming into the country and taking over apartment complexes. We never saw this same energy when we got the news about Laken Riley or Rachel Marin or Jocelyn Nungary. No. That's only reserved for the drug dealers that are being blown up in the ocean. You want to know something fun? While Chuck Schumer is very upset about it, do you know that the law that allows President Trump to take out the drug boats, do you know who wrote that law? Fun fact. Just keep this one in your back pocket for trivia night. The person that wrote the law that allows Donald Trump to take out the drug boats is Chuck Schumer.
This in front of me, this is the Maritime Drug Law Enforcement Act of 1986, authored by a member of Congress in 1986 from the state of New York. His name, Chuck Schumer. He wrote the law that passed almost unanimously that makes it legal to blow drug boats out of the water.
And it turns his stomach every time he thinks about writing that law. He wakes up in cold sweats He can't believe that he did something so dastardly and so evil. And had he had the foresight for an orange dictator to come into office, he would have never wrote that law. It's unprecedented times, and my stomach is turning just thinking about it. Schumer wrote the law. Poetry. It's poetry.
It happened in the 80s a lot, in the 90s a lot. Go ahead. Look it up, folks. Chuck Schumer, the author of this bill that made what we're doing with Venezuelan drug boats fully legal. We don't need permission from the rest of the world. Chuck Schumer gave us that in 1986.
Based. I would vote for that version of Chuck. You ever play old videos of Democrats and it's like, dude, what the hell happened to you guys? You used to be cool. You guys used to do cool things. The hell is this? Now you're upset. Now your stomach's being turned. Democrat Senator Tim Kaine, maybe you remember him from the failed Hillary Clinton presidential campaign. What is it with Democrats and just picking terrible presidential candidates? I mean, the last four. Waltz, awful pick. Terrible pick. Kamala Harris, need I say more? I mean, the only woman in history that can turn $2 billion into negative $20 million. You had Tim Kaine for Hillary Clinton, and then even Joe Biden for Barack Obama. Never underestimate Joe's ability to F something up. But yeah, they just awful vice presidential candidates. It just goes back to Democrats always wanting power. They don't want a vice president usurping that from them. But Tim Kaine was talking about the drug boats, and he had a certain way about how he was talking about the narco terrorists that were on those boats.
I'd like to share with you my concerns about the individuals who've been killed, but I can't for the same reason. I'd like to share with you my concerns about the second strike that killed struggling survivors clinging to the shipwreck on September 2.
Struggling survivors. Struggling survivors. Narco terrorists. Struggling survivors. They were getting back in the boat. They were trying to recover the drugs. Struggling survivors.
But I can't fully explain why this is so outrageous, because most of what I know from a classified setting. Unlike Senator Schumer, I've not seen the video yet.
But you know they were struggling survivors? You haven't seen the video. You can't talk about it. You were in a classified setting. But what he can tell you is Orange Man bad, drug traffickers good. Remember that. Don't forget it. It's insane. You know who else was in that classified setting? Another Democrat senator. Maybe you've heard of him, John Fetterman. John Fetterman was in the classified setting. He has seen the intelligence reports. He said, guys, they were not struggling survivors. So I wonder how Tim Kaine or Chuck Schumer can reconcile these statements.
What did you learn, Senator, that gave you any comfort that we're not heading into some kind of extended military exercise around Venezuela or in Venezuela?
Yeah, absolutely. I thought it was pretty comprehensive, and this idea, some things out in the media, it's kind of putting out this that the military is just picking off any boat that comes across. That's just not true. I mean, there's extensive intelligence, and they know exactly who's on that boat, and they know what's actually on that boat right now. And it's quite frequently they decline to take it and to move on those things. When they move on those kinetic kinds of strikes, they have absolute confidence that who's on it and what's on it, and that's exactly what it's about. They're not just going around randomly just shooting boats and those things. That's just not the fact.
Senator Fetterman, will you please think of the struggling survivors? Will anyone think of the struggling survivors? So you have members of the Democrat Party, senators coming out and being like, Orange Man bad. We have to defend the narco terrorists because no matter what Trump does, you have to take the opposite position. And then you have somebody a bit more reasonable like Fetterman who's like, yeah, I've seen the intelligence and they're blowing up drug traffickers. So, nothing of value being lost. Nothing of value. They're still arguing about this on CNN. This is last night. Scott Jennings, he was on the Abby Phillips show, and Scott's like, "Did you hear what Fetterman said? Is It's not me, right? I'm not the only one that heard Fetterman. You guys heard that too, right?
As well, say, hold on a second, do we want to start another war?
Good question. Well, I don't think it's very America first to let a narco-terrorist state with an illegitimate government that's aligned with China and Russia and Iran do things in our hemisphere that we don't like with drugs or anything else. I don't think we like it that they're trying to go into Guyana right now and take over their oil either.
Yep.
And so the president's position has always been, this is the Western Hemisphere. We're going to police it. And we don't even recognize these guys as a legitimate government. And so he's trying to bring about a situation where the worst people in the hemisphere are not enriching themselves, not distributing drugs. And if we wind up with a legitimately elected government there that's aligned with the United States instead of Russia, China, and Iran, that's America first.
I'd love to add some facts to this.
I see you leaning in, John.
Yeah. Go ahead, add some facts. Tell us how Trump is wrong, how he's evil, how he's orange. Got it. Don't worry about what the guys that see the intelligence reports say. Don't worry about that. Let's listen to more of Tim Kaine and Chuck Schumer. Got it. 11:22, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friends at the Wellness Institute of Nashville. Let's get you back to a pain-free life by Christmas. Let's get you ringing in the new year without that back pain, without the neck pain, without the knee pain. Let's have a pain-free existence in 2026. If you're dealing with that pain, sciatica, herniated or bulging disc, numbness in your arm or legs, you need to know about the Wellness Institute of Nashville. My friends over there, Dr. Mitchell, Dr. Ashley, the team, they are the best. And they're the first and only office in Tennessee with a brand new device that is changing the game. It's called the Hydro Wave. It stimulates stem cells for real cellular healing. No surgery, no needles, no injections. Pair that with their non-surgical spinal and knee decompression, and this is about as advanced as it can get. They'll use anti-gravity machines, robot lasers, and they'll actually take the time to review your MRI and explain what's happening and how to fix it. These guys are the best. Start a pain-free life with the Wellness Institute of Nashville. 615-246-5009. 615-246-5009. I'm Chris Hand, and the Wellness Institute of Nashville has my seal of approval on this deal that could change your life. Big Daddy Trump special still going on. Just $12. 615-246-5009. Painisbad.com.
We are following reports of that fiery business jet crash at a regional airport in North Carolina, and there are reports that public records show the plane is registered to a NASCAR driver. We'll get you the latest on that coming up at 11:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Ken Weaver in the newsroom. My name is Chris Hand. It's 11:27 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Raining outside. Everybody wishes it was snow. It's not just you. It's not just you. We all wish it was snow. Okay, by all of us.
Not me.
Probably just me. Is it just me?
It's just you, brother.
I think it's just you.
Joan Jones was here earlier. She wanted snow too.
She did?
Yeah. Oh yeah, she's in. We got a lot of mean texts calling us Yankees. Me and Joan. Joan doesn't take heat like that on the text line. I told her. I said, Joan, don't open it up. They're calling you all sorts of names.
Have you guys been saying things like "yah"?
Yeah. Sometimes. We have wicked good slang up north. So, yeah, I do. I'm looking outside, and it's like, come on. It's like, it's just cold enough to be annoying. It's just wet enough to slow you down. And I'm not impressed. I would rather have snow.
So take that, Mother Nature.
Not impressed with Mother Nature.
Did you see what's supposed to happen next week, though?
No.
No? What do we got? Do we have snow?
No. The opposite. It
Heat?
is 67 degrees on Christmas Day.
Yes, sir.
This is like the time of year where Nashville weather's schizophrenic.
It is.
Yeah.
It doesn't know what it wants to do.
Yeah.
It's like, well, you said you wanted warmth, so I gave you warmth, but not on the day you wanted it.
It's very upsetting.
Direct quote from Nashville weather.
Thank you, Mason, with the direct quotes.
That's what I'm here for.
I just got I got little kids, and I want to go sledding.
Yeah.
I'm okay with the snow as long as we're not up here. Now, if I'm home and it's snowing and I don't have anywhere to go, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow.
Absolutely. But if I have to be in the station,
yeah.
7211 said, if you want snow, I-65 goes north. Just start driving until you find some.
I agree. Yes, sir.
5002 said, is the Canadian missing his snow?
shocker.
And 0566, yeah, this is true. Christmas don't feel like Christmas without snow.
Yeah, unless you're in Tennessee.
It do.
People say don't be like it is, but it do. You know, we gotta get the snow. We gotta get the snow.
Oh yeah.
0625 said, as a turf manager, the weather is very upsetting. This is supposed to be my off time.
Oh yeah.
Will someone think of the turf managers?
Yeah, you guys don't understand.
Nobody ever thinks of the turf managers. Will somebody think of the turf managers?
My grass looks awful right now. I better call my turf guy.
God, where's my turf manager? This is terrible. He's supposed to be off right now.
I wanted a good yard for Christmas Day. What's going on?
This is embarrassing. All right, we'll be praying for all you turf managers out there that the weather gets better. It's just turf manager. There's one. Anecdotally, we're the number one show for turf managers in Middle Tennessee.
Yes,
so we appreciate you guys listening. On the way, we do have the lightning round. And I don't know if you saw what happened yesterday in the House. A bill for Marjorie Taylor Greene passed the House. And it's not going to pass the Senate. And when I see that this is not going to pass the Senate, it infuriates me. And I say, guys, can we nuke the filibuster? Can we just do it? We don't have a lot of time left, and we lose the midterms. We're going to lose control of everything, and then we got a lame duck presidency, and it sucks. Can we nuke the filibuster in the meantime and get some stuff done? I'll explain to you what I mean on the way. It's 11:30. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
It's 11:30 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. We've got the full forecast in 5 minutes. Tell you about how long it's going to rain and then the cooler temperatures that are supposedly behind this rain. Right now, we're following a story out of North Carolina where a business jet has crashed while landing at Statesville Regional Airport. This Cessna C-550 erupted into flames on the runway, sending thick smoke into the air. Emergency crews rushing to the scene as investigators from the FAA and NTSB launch an inquiry. Authorities have not yet confirmed the number of people killed or injured. However, we have seen reports that this Cessna is coming back to NASCAR driver Greg Biffle. The leasing of this Cessna C550 coming back to NASCAR driver Greg Biffle. But again, we have not heard from authorities as to how many people were on the plane or how many may have been killed or injured. Here in Tennessee, 4 children are safe after being rescued from what police say was a human trafficking ring in Smithville. Police say the victims were forced into labor at a Mexican restaurant and market to pay off smuggling debts. The investigation started after a girl ran away to get help. 2 men are under arrest, and authorities say more arrests are expected. And lawmakers in Tennessee are considering a plan to help schools spot trouble early. The bill would create a statewide system for reporting signs such as self-harm, substance abuse, or bullying. Logged concerns would trigger immediate review by a threat assessment team. Non-compliant schools could lose state funding. Supporters say this could prevent tragedies by acting sooner. That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friend Aaron Parker over at Parker Safes and Vaults in Shelbyville. This time of year, you got a lot of people coming and going at the house. Everybody's getting a little distracted, right? You got family coming in, packages arriving, distractions everywhere. So it's the perfect time to secure your firearms and your valuables the right way. This is why I trust Parker Safes and Vaults in Shelbyville. Veteran-owned, Christian family business. Been doing it since 2009, and their gun safes protect rifles, pistols, optics, gear, but they'll also protect all the things your wife wants to protect too. The photo albums, the passports, the jewelry, the keepsakes from fire or theft. Aaron Parker has a background in Air Force security and law enforcement. He understands real-world protection, and Aaron and his sons, well, they'll deliver and install everything themselves, quietly, discreetly, professionally. It's not big box nonsense. And this December, if you get a safe from Parker Safes and Vaults, you mentioned the Chris Hand Show, you'll receive a free gift with your new gun safe, something every gun owner can use. Now, you might be saying to yourself, oh, there's a lot of safes. I don't know which one to choose. Well, Aaron Parker has a YouTube channel, Parker Safes and Vaults on YouTube, where he reviews every safe that they have available. So you can find the perfect one for your home before you even step foot in the showroom. Give Aaron Parker a call today, 931-842-6445. 931-842-6445. Have a safe Christmas with Parker Safes and Vaults in Shelbyville, parkersafes.com. 11:38, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? Chris Hand here. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC. Water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. I'm just getting lambasted for wanting snow on the text line. Just people being so rude, so mean. Some guy said, 1933 said, I'm upvoting the comment about 65 going north. So I told him to go back to Reddit. I said, go back to Reddit.
Upvote.
Go back to Reddit. We don't need that. 7736. There's snow where the Somalis live. I know. Don't you know? Don't you? Why did they do that? Anybody know? So weird. Like, you would have expected the Somalis to go to, like, Nevada or Phoenix or
cheaper living.
You know, I don't know.
I don't know. Nobody wants to live up in the cold all the time.
It's weird. It's a weird place. And then, yeah, people mad at me. Well,
just a little bit.
Your boos mean nothing. I've seen what makes you cheer. 11:39. You know what time it is, right? It's time for the lightning round.
It's the lightning round with Chris Hand.
We do it every day at this time. All the stories we didn't have a chance to get to, all the stories that wouldn't fill a whole segment, but stories that are important nonetheless. We call it the lightning round. All right, so first story in the lightning round. Let's see. There was a vote, okay, and this vote was on legislation to criminalize transgender sex transitions on minors.
What?
I know, including surgeries, puberty blockers, and hormone therapy, and it passed the House. This is a pretty big deal. I was excited to see it. Like, we do still have some sanity left in this country, and that was on full display yesterday. It was a 216 to 211 vote. It's heading to the Senate. This would codify the Trump executive order. 207 Democrats have voted for castrating kids. They 207 Democrats are like, no, you know what? Chop them off. And 4 Republicans also voted to castrate kids, which is insane. The Republicans are Evans out of Colorado, Fitzpatrick out of Pennsylvania, Kennedy out of Utah, and Lawler out of New York. We almost had as many Democrats siding with us as we had Republicans voting against us. 3 Democrats came on board to vote yay. You should criminalize this. Cuellar, Davis, and Gonzalez, 2 out of Texas, 1 out of North Carolina. This is why we need to nuke the filibuster. The majority of the country would be behind this. But because we have radical leftists holding up the Trump agenda, it's never going to get through the Senate. If there was a time to nuke the filibuster, if there was a way to put pressure on your senators to do it, I think this is it. This is what we could do if we nuke the filibuster. We could protect children from insane adults who want to transform them forever, who want to destroy the image of God that they were made in. But we won't be able to because of radical leftists and Republicans who are more concerned about tradition. Oh, this is a common thing. It's a tradition. Can't get rid of that. You know, it's funny too. It's like as soon as we see the Democrats have the opportunity to, they will nuke the filibuster. So we have an opportunity here to protect kids. It's not going to happen because we won't get off our ass and do something about it. And it's infuriating. It's infuriating. Got another story for you here in the lightning round. Lightning's a little off in the distance there. Storms are brewing.
Storm's still moving this way.
It's moving this way. All right, so the House passed that. Oh, sorry. Let me continue real quick. I didn't mean to go to the next story. That's my fault. You know Rep. Tim McBride?
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, Sarah McBride. Tim. He's a dude. Sarah McBride is a man. By the name of Tim. He's just one of the bros down in Congress. He's broing out.
One of the dudes.
He's just one of the guys. So, leave him alone. He was very upset that they passed that bill to criminalize sex changes on minors.
When millions of people will see their healthcare premiums skyrocket. And GOP leadership, with that deadline fast approaching, has decided to schedule 2 votes on anti-trans bills and precisely 0 votes on extending the Affordable Care Act tax credits. They would rather have us focus in and debate a misunderstood and vulnerable 1% of the population instead of focusing in on the fact that they are raiding everyone's health care in order to pay for tax breaks for the wealthiest 1%. All Republican politicians care about is making the rich richer and attacking trans people. They are obsessed with trans people. I actually think they think more about trans people than trans people think about trans people.
If you're not watching on Super Talk TV, AOC is in the background behind the dude, and she's like, the GOP thinks about trans people more than trans people. She's just smirking. No, we don't want you near our kids. We understand that you indoctrinate them with your ideology, and then you transform them forever. And we don't want that to happen. Nobody ever talks about the detransitioners. It's insane that the detransitioners don't get more media attention because there are numerous detransitioners out there who will tell you that they were sold a bill of goods, that the doctors lied to them, the doctors lied to their parents. This is a money-making operation here, and nobody wants to talk about that. We're going to be judged as a society by how we treat our most vulnerable, and if we're going to let this continue to happen to our kids, we're going to be judged for it. So thanks, Tim. All right, time for another story in the lightning round. In the lightning round? There it is.
You can make me wait on your ads. I'll make you wait on lightning.
All right. Hey, reparations. Reparations are happening. Are you ready for this? Yeah. I mean, dude. This is California. The San Francisco Board of Supervisors has a stunning and brave announcement. Listen to this.
We'll move now to a story we've been following for several years. Reparations for Black San Franciscans are back on the table.
And today, the San Francisco Board of Supervisors passed a measure that would create a fund designed to help Black people who have been harmed by past city laws, including redlining from the 1950s through the 70s.
ABC 7 News political reporter Monica Madden is digging into the story for us. Monica, how much money would be added into this fund?
Dan and Alma, that's the kicker here. As things stand right now, the city is not appropriating a cent towards this reparations fund that might have made it easier to get the board's full support when the city is in a financial deficit. But supporters say at the least this sets up the framework for actual funding in the future.
I think it means repair.
As a descendant of slaves, James Taylor has long advocated for reparations.
My own hands have touched my grandfather's hands, and my grandfather touched his grandfather's hands, and that was a slave.
All right, you sold me. Let's give you money. That's how much do you need? Of course, it's in California where the state is like essentially bankrupt. They're running out of money fast, and now they have something new to pay for. Reparations. I don't know about you, but if I was a resident of San Francisco, even if I was a Black resident of San Francisco, I think the more pressing issue would be the homeless camps on the streets, the open air drug use, the needles that are all over the place, the poop, all the poop. I mean, poop maps are an industry now. Do you understand that, right? Like there's guys out there that make the poop map apps that are generating revenue because everybody wants to report where the poop is. I would focus on those problems first. I would. Instead of this, whatever the hell this is. Got another story for you here in the lightning round. There it is. And we can't proceed without the lightning.
Oh, absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
Your show runs on my time. Sorry. I'm getting too confident today. I'm going to back off. Hold on. Let me reel that in.
Dan Bongino out of the FBI. Dan's out. He's out. It's not a good look.
Yeah. You mentioned that earlier, and I was like, why, though? I mean, I have my hunches, but why?
I mean, could it be that they aren't getting anything done? Could it be that he was up against the wall of bureaucracy? Could it be that he's frustrated and banging his head against the wall? Yes, all those things could be true. Could also be that he didn't know what he was signing up for. This is Dan Bongino from just a few months back talking about what he's given up to be the deputy director at the FBI.
I mean, I gave up everything for this. I mean, you know, my wife is struggling. I'm not a victim. I'm not Jim Comey. It's fine. I did this, and I'm proud I did it. But if you think we're there for tea and crumpets, well, I mean, Cash is there all day. We share it. Our offices are linked. He turns on the faucet. I hear it. He's there he gets in like 6 o'clock in the morning. He doesn't leave till 7 at night. You know, I'm in there at 7:30 in the morning. He uses the gym. I work out in my apartment. But I stare at these four walls all day in D.C., you know, by myself, divorced from my wife. Not divorced, but I mean separated, divorced. And it's hard. I mean, you know, we love each other, and it's hard to be apart.
But is that a Freudian slip? Is that you know what I mean? Do you think that there were problems mounting up behind the scenes personally that made Dan want to give it up? Could be true. One could be true. The other could be true. It could be a combo of both. That being said, I mean, listen, Dan did sacrifice a lot. He had a massively popular radio show, and he left all of that to serve the country, and that should be applauded. Maybe he didn't get the things done that he wanted to get done, but we should still salute the man for getting out there and trying. And there will be people
doing some great work.
There will be people that will clown him, down it, trash the FBI. I mean, but the fact remains, he did. He put it all on the line, and he went out there to do it. President Trump was asked about this yesterday. There have been rumors that he cleaned out his desk. There's been rumors that Dan's been leaving for months upon months. But this time, the madman really did it. He's really leaving, and President Trump confirmed it, as well as a tweet from the deputy director of the FBI saying he'll be wrapped up in January. But this is President Trump reacting to it. This is at Joint Base Andrews yesterday afternoon after the dignified transfer of the bodies of the slain soldiers from Syria.
Oh, Dan did a great job. I think he wants to go back to his show. Yeah, I do.
Dan did a great job. I think he wants to go back to his show. The radio guy in me wonders what this company does. Because, you know, Dan was on Westwood One. That's the parent company or a company affiliated with Cumulus Broadcasting.
Yeah.
Dan was syndicated all over the country via Westwood One on multiple Cumulus radio stations. Since he stepped down, the Vince show took over. And Vince seems like a nice enough guy. It's not the same show as Dan Bongino, and it's much less of a Vince thing, but I'm just like the radio guy in me goes, okay, what happens to Vince? Because Vince picked up all the syndication of Bongino.
Yeah.
What does the contract status look like for Bongino? Does Bongino come back to Westwood One, or do we lose him to a company like iHeart or Odyssey? It's just interesting, and I'll be if he wants to go back to his show, I mean, people will listen, whether he's on YouTube or on terrestrial radio. People will find him. People do like Dan Bongino a lot, but I'm just curious to see what the suits do.
Yeah, it's definitely a mix-up for sure.
It's interesting. All right, got time for one more story here in the lightning round.
I lost my mouse that time.
Okay, that time wasn't on purpose.
Yeah, that one wasn't on purpose.
All right, so this is a crazy story. You ready for this?
I'm always ready for crazy here. I think.
A woman has been arrested. That's how I'm going to start.
Okay.
Got this body cam footage, okay? If you're watching on Super Talk TV, you'll see the body cam footage. The police officer walks up. She's picking up some dog poop, hanging out with a neighbor, two elderly ladies. And the neighbors start joking.
Hey!
How you doing, Miss Sharon?
Good, how are you?
Pretty good.
You hear the lady? They're coming for you, Sharon. They're coming for you.
Uh-oh, they're coming for you, Sharon! They don't want me. They want Reggie. What's up?
Well, we're here for you, ma'am. Definitely here for you.
Whoa, why?
We're waiting on the detective to get here, but we have, with all the information that we do have, you have a warrant for your arrest.
They're teasing. They have to be.
Ma'am, we're not.
I'm so sorry.
No, you're okay.
I'm so sorry.
Go ahead and go home.
This poor elderly woman, they're teasing you. They have to be teasing you. Ma'am, we're not. You need to go back to your house. Oh, my gosh. All right.
Yeah, the immediate turnaround.
She picks up her stuff and walks away. So why are they arresting Miss Sharon? Why? Well, it turns out about 40 years ago, Miss Sharon abducted her own daughter.
Oh.
And she got away with it for 40 years, and she would have got away with it, too, if it weren't for those meddling kids. No, but listen to this. It's insane. Decades-old abduction case in Kentucky has been brought back up. Wait, is this the right one? I don't think this is the right one. There's several decades old. Oh, no, this is it. She's 43 years. Joe Newton waited for the moment that he feared would never come. She's always been in my heart. I can't explain the moment of that woman walking in and getting to put my arms back around my daughter. He last saw his daughter when she was just 3 years old, and that's when the mom abducted her, moved to Florida, and that was it. She lived a happy life for 40 years until the law caught up with her.
Wow.
Isn't that insane?
That's nuts.
40 years.
Explains why she was so calm at first. Being like, oh, yeah, I got away with that forever ago. There's nothing new.
She probably forgot about it.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
didn't think of it. She probably also didn't think of it as kidnapping.
No, probably not.
It was like in her mind, she's like, that's my kid. I could take her.
It was a simpler time.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, 40 years later, you done goofed. What do you think happens in a case like that? I mean, if you're like, dude, it's been 40 years. Like, chill. Like, my adult. My kid is now my adult who has kids.
Yeah.
So it's a wild story. We'll be following it for updates, and we'll let you know what happened to Miss Sharon, if that is her real name. 11:54, Super Talk, 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friends at Zero Res Nashville. I talk about these guys all the time. Christmas is coming, week away. Have you cleaned up the house yet? I know you got company coming over. Your carpets are gross. Your company's not gonna say anything to you, but I'm gonna tell you before they get here. Everybody's gonna be talking about it after they leave. Don't give them the ammo to talk about your carpets. Call Zero Res today. They'll clean up anything that's in your carpets. I got 4 kids, 2 dogs. I'm not talking from an ivory tower. I use these guys all the time. Dirt, mud, an occasional what the heck is that? Zero Res can clean it all up. And they use their exclusive ZR water. These guys are the Maha of carpet cleaning. No soap, no harsh chemicals, no residue. But clean carpets that don't just look clean, they stay clean longer. Right now, you can get 2 rooms plus a hallway or stairs for just $129. You can up it to 3 rooms plus a hallway or stairs for just an extra $20, $149. You're not going to find a better deal in carpet cleaning. Get on the schedule before company comes over. 615-535-9376. 615-535-9376 or get on the schedule online. You can book right now at ZeroResNashville.com.